black, 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 black Starr, black Starr, black Starr, black Starr, black Starr, black Starr, black Starr.
Black Starr got this shit they all get down with.
Peace, 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 brothers and sisters. This your brother, Starr Rush. Joining me again today is D. Miller L. And I guess we can go ahead and name this as Blexit Part 2. Just a little bit more explaining of the Bitcoin. With the brother, this is the Black Starr Kickback, where we talk about every issue under the sun: health, relationship, goals, prep and motivation, current events, lives, education, changing thought patterns, and changing conversation. And we was involved in a conversation earlier, and I'm like, oh man, we got to make sure we record this. And to answer also a lot of questions that people that did listen to the show, as far as a couple other things that we didn't go over. So, D. Miller, where you want to start this out at? I know I had asked you about the different variations of wallets. Man, we talked about so much, so we can really go anywhere with it.
Definitely. Peace to you, fam. I appreciate the invite to come on and speak with you, fam. I guess I'll just touch on a little bit of what you just said, and then we can jump into the wallets or however the conversation flows. So the first thing that I want to say is Blexit. Blexit is a decentralized movement that's happening among the blacks of America, the African Americans, the Moors, the Hebrews, the Kemites, the RBGs, the atheists, the educated, the uneducated, the poor, the wealthy. This is a decentralized movement of those people. If you count yourself among those people, I definitely recommend that you step it up and start to investigate further. What is Blexit? A little more texture. Blexit comes from Brexit. Blexit is spelled BLEXIT. It stands for Black Economic Exit. The Brexit was the British economic exit from the European Union. So we are patterning this movement somewhat similar to what happened there in Britain. But again, fundamentally, it is different. It is not a centralized exit. It is a decentralized exit, meaning it's all about the individual. It is not about some organization that is exiting from America or even, any other sort of exiting. So I wanted to say that first.
Most definitely, because I think a lot of us actually think it's about, jumping ship. That's a lot of the questions I was getting from the video, and, they didn't understand. But, it's more likely a financial or, like you said, economic separation.
That's right. It has definitely come to a point where we need to be precise with our movement. I feel that the brother Killer Mike definitely hit on something that's pertinent, and it is the most impactful thing that I've seen so far as a result of these current phenomenon, the brothers getting killed, massacred, murdered, the police brutality. This sort of thing is a problem, and we need to address it as a people. And what I saw that brother Killer Mike do there in Atlanta, I believe he is responsible for at least $1 million in the Atlanta, Georgia area, shifting from banks that are not controlled by us to banks that are controlled by us. So I feel that was the most successful aspect of response to this, and I'm definitely coming in.
Speaking of the banks, you still there, brother?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Speaking of the banks, we also see that a lot of other rappers also, like in Houston, are following along and, trying to, put their monies into the bank and try to build a black banking system, or, just basically so we can have a bank in get those loans out there for those of us that do need it and were discriminated in whatever type of way that they already do discriminate us. Would you say that they allowing, because I think I read a long time ago some NFL stars were trying to do that same thing and it got shut down. Do you think that they are now allowing us to, allow those things to happen because we kind of always seem like we're late on board on things, and they go ahead and just say, well, fuck it, it's kind of non-existent now, or it's going to be non-existent within the next couple years or in the future. So let these brothers go ahead and invest their money into a banking system, and we still control that banking system. So it's not like they're getting away, and they probably don't have the courage to even try to do something extreme with it. So do you think that is one reason that they're allowing that to go on is because it's going to be non-existent in the future?
I feel that it's less about the future. I think it's more about the now. And right now, a move like that is something well within the control of the jurisdiction that is, we'll say, killing us. It is very easy for them to create a situation where what appears to be our money and our bank and our banking system can be frozen at the end of the day. So I definitely want to delve more into this, but I want to make sure that I speak to your questions before I start to elaborate and maybe have the people in a different area as far as their awareness and what we're talking about. So yes, I do think that they would honestly allow us to make such a move, and it's only because that particular move is of no consequence in the long run. Because right here, right now, if they wanted to freeze that $1 million in that credit union or the various credit unions that are there, that's an easy button to push.
That's something that basically, they got still control over that all the way. It's not like we can go trade with some country with that same bank, and them making sure that they stopping decease that shit from even happening, which they can. So that's why that's why I like the idea of with the Bitcoin, because you can basically get on a plane and if you got dual citizenship outside of this place and you have 2 passports, you can go to another country that you can't leave from here to go to, and still have your monies with you right there when you log on in. So I like the idea of that, and also the transaction. Speaking of transaction, we're gonna go into that. Could you explain the rinsing? Because I'm seeing, I know we talked about it earlier, and we might be moving a little bit too far, but we can go back and forth, through the conversations if you didn't reach other point. But could you explain the rinsing and the mixer and how that thing works out to whereas we seen the guy I had mentioned earlier where he had used the COINBASE, the COINBASE, and basically the government took that money from him. Could you tell the people about the no's or the do's and the don'ts of that, and the reason why the mixer is a good thing?
I sure can. I appreciate that question. That's definitely a pertinent question. So if you've ever run into the Moabit Association, I know for a fact that we've probably given out all of the Bitcoin that exists within the conscious community outside of the Bitcoin that people have independently purchased on their own. So what we've done is we've made it real easy for people to get on board with Bitcoin. All that's actually required if I use something like Coinbase is your email. So I will ask you for your email. Somebody that's affiliated will ask for your email, and they'll be able to send you Bitcoin in the exact same way as they would send the email, that is. So with Coinbase, let's kind of dig in. We're gonna kind of get deep, family. So definitely put your thinking caps on, get your pen and pad out, and take some notes. So Coinbase is an official exchange found here in America. They're based out of San Francisco, and essentially And this is what is interesting, most interesting. Shouts out to the brother Inyame. We were building with the brother earlier also. I've done a show on his channel. So this is a new system. It's a new concept. It does not function in the same way as the traditional. However, because of the day in which we live in, you have people trying to fit a round peg in a square hole. So the legislation, the rules, the regulations are based upon the old traditional system. However, Bitcoin is a new system. Well, that still doesn't negate anything. Coinbase has decided to go into business today, right? They've been in business for some time now. They decided to go into business and they found themselves being subject to the traditional rules and regulations of a money transmitter. So they have a dilemma, and it's called KYC. KYC is an acronym for Know Your Customer. Now, brother, you mentioned something, and this is a buzzword for those that deal in finance. You were talking about washing. Money laundering is more like it. I think the average person will understand what is money laundering. Money laundering is to have money that you gain from illegal means and attempt to clear them as some sort of legitimate business transaction. Okay, so I just wanted to make sure that those definitions, those concepts are out there. What you're talking about, good brother, is first and foremost, you mentioned a couple of different things, so I want to make sure that I give this to the people in a coherent manner. You'll use a service like Coinbase to purchase your Bitcoin. That's fine. They will ask you for information that is associated with the KYC regulation. They do want to know their customer. So that's the first thing. Buy your Bitcoin. Definitely, I'm not advising anyone to do anything illegal. They will report you. They will send your information to the government. So do not do anything strange there. Be sure to look at the terms and conditions. However, there are multiple wallet services that are available. Coinbase is one of many. Coinbase is one of a few that requires the information that all other money transmitters are requesting. Socials, EINs, names, locations, date of birth, that kind of thing. However, there are wallets that do not require any of that. I highly recommend that the family look into blockchain.info. That's B-L-O-C-K, as in block, chain, C-H-A-I-N, as in Nancy, blockchain, that's one word, .info. I highly recommend that the family go there and pick up a wallet. You will find a hierarchical determinative wallet. In short, that's called HD. This is the most secure wallet. It does not require any of your personal information. If I were to advise a person, I would advise that a person, only if they need to go back and forth from Bitcoin to fiat, and I really don't recommend that. But if you are going to go back and forth from crypto to fiat, that's regular paper money to digital money. If you're going to go back and forth, one, I would recommend Coinbase. Two, I'd recommend you don't do anything illegal. Now, if you are going to just stay within the crypto world where you're not dealing with fiat, well, then it becomes very interesting because that's when I would recommend the mixer. I'd highly recommend the mixer. So let's say hypothetically, I'll just walk you through the process. You purchase some Bitcoin through Coinbase. That's fine. You have other wallets, which is great. You send the money from your Coinbase wallet to the other wallet and you send it through a mixer first. If you send the money through a mixer, you have essentially washed the money. Money mixing is not for criminals only. I know that we walk through that first, and I know the average person, when they hear money laundering or money washing, that is the first thing that they think about. They think of crime. Well, these services are not just for criminals. These services are for those that wish to remain private in their business transactions. So that's what I wanted to say about that, brother, without going long-winded.
Oh, no. That's, I appreciate that. My next question would be, we've seen in Australia that the banks basically, cut off a lot of business to people that do business with Bitcoin. And they basically terminated their accounts and things of that nature because it was basically like, debanking or whatever you want to call it, or just basically they were just getting upset somebody going somewhere and using some other services, and it's basically keeping the money out of the banks. Do you think that that's a possibility that can happen here in America or in other places, as far as banks not accepting people that do deposit Bitcoin into their accounts for fiat cash, or trying to bring it from the crypto world to the fiat world? Do you think that can happen all across the world, as far as the banks getting together and trying to basically force people to stay into the banking and not and try to cripple Bitcoin?
Yeah, good question. I think this is analogous to marijuana here. So if you are familiar with the way that legislation works with marijuana here in this country, you cannot have a bank account if you deal in marijuana. If you're a dispensary, you don't have a bank account, and that's because federally it is still illegal. So this is very similar to the Bitcoin concept, where we'll say the federal government of Australia is entertaining the idea of banning Bitcoin. Now, I think there's two things that we should look at. The first one is, why would they want to do it? It's for all the things that we've been saying for this show as well as the last show. This is not a system nor a currency that is under their control. That's the first thing. That's why they're even entertaining the idea of banning it. You must consider that. If this is a government ploy, they don't respond in that way, right? That's not how they respond if they want people to jump on board. So it doesn't appear to be a government setup. However, what could happen if the government does ban it? Let's say Australia bans Bitcoin. Well, what you will have are a bunch of entrepreneurs leave Australia. They will go to the place where their businesses are incentivized and where it's friendly for their business. So I'll give you a final example. In America, there are a lot of different regulations about business and the income that businesses make. So what you have seen in the last 20, 30 years are a lot of businesses going offshore. They go to the Dominican Republic, they go to China, they go to India, they go to various places in Africa, they go to South America, where legislation is friendly towards their business. They can get away with paying a person $120 a month, right? In America, they cannot come to us and say, I'm going to pay you $120 a month, right? They can do that in China. They can do that in Africa. They can do that in South America. They can't do that here. So they have moved their businesses off the coast so that, again, it's more friendly, right? It's more advantageous for their business to be located in these other jurisdictions than here. Now, America will be facing the exact same problem if they ban the Bitcoin. There aren't just investors involved with Bitcoin. There aren't just people that have taken their hard-earned dollars and bought Bitcoin with it and expect some kind of return on the back end. You have a lot of entrepreneurs that are in this space. They're very brilliant. The last thing that you want is for that brilliance to leave your country because you have a bunch of rules and regulations that don't make it friendly towards them developing this technology. So the last thing that they want. So many countries, it's not just Australia, many countries are trying to balance this very equation. Do we, try to maintain control over the monetary system et cetera, that we've had here for all these years, all these decades? Or do we create a situation where we can cultivate the development of this technology? So I think America is leaning more towards cultivating the technology as opposed to trying to ban it. But if they were to ban it, it would be America's loss. It would be the loss of the U.S. I hope that answers your question.
Most definitely. And we already know rich people, certain rich males is not going for losing their money. I know that the research I have done, we see a lot of elites taking advantage of this. I know that usually us as a people, it seems like we catch on to things real late. We're very hesitant, and that's understandable throughout history. Where I can say that my great grandmother, she didn't believe in banks. You know, she kept her money up in the mattress. You know what I'm saying? So because you know, things that happened when she was a little girl, as far as when she and her mother were sharecroppers, and you know, your money that you put in the bank can just be taken away from your ass in any moment. They didn't really have it things secure back then. So, you know, us, it just seemed like, you know, we very hesitant because I guess that's just in our DNA from shit that's been happening in the past and so forth. And a lot of us, you know, still trying to get some understanding about it. You know, a lot of us just now hopping on Google Plus or even pushing the Facebook call button or anything. You know, it's a lot of us not even really hip to technology, which is, you know, it's kind of sad. Because we paying all this money for these $600 phones, and probably nobody even read the instructions to how to use the phone properly, and all the kinks and twists that go along with it. So, like, I know you was asking, like, you know, how can we, you know, get other people involved as far as those that's not catching on, or those that's basically have a cash business or something like that, you want to say? And they basically at the point where they, you know, they're not making a lot of money, but they can, you know, use this as a way to make a means of money. I think I asked you this before. Do they have Bitcoin readers, or do you have to have like your cell phone, like you said, tablet earlier? Do they have like the little swipers or something like that accept Bitcoin as far as your phone or something like that? I think I asked you, but I don't remember the answer, brother.
Sure. Okay, so we're talking about your ability to spend Bitcoin. The way that things are now, and this is actually a good thing. The way that things are now, the technology has advanced so far that it doesn't even require that a merchant accept Bitcoin direct. However, there are point of sale, POS, point of sale devices that are available. A point of sale device is like a cash register, ladies and gentlemen. It is a means for you to accept payment. A credit card processor, this is the same thing. A POS, a point of sale device. There are merchants that accept Bitcoin directly. So you could pay them through your phone. You can go online and pay them. But the point is, you know, it works like a Apple Pay or something. You can swipe your phone, have your banking information connected like PayPal, and make a payment. Right? So that's how that part works. However, the technology is moving faster than the people who want, you know, we'll say to adopt it. So it's not a requirement that the family, you know, make sure that their merchant accepts Bitcoin. I have a card, a shift card from Coinbase that allows me to spend Bitcoin with any merchant that accepts Visa. And there aren't too many merchants that do not accept Visa. So lots of ways around that, not really a biggie, but something to consider. In fact, I recommend everybody start opening your eyes. Look around you, because I wouldn't be surprised if there's a Bitcoin ATM somewhere near you.
Most definitely. Could you explain the Swift card a little bit for the listeners and stuff, and how can they get one of those?
Yeah. Once you sign up for Coinbase and you have the account, you put in your information. Again, it works a lot like PayPal, family. Once you put in your information, they will send the card within like 5 business days. I had mine, again, within a week after signing up. And what the card allows for is for you to not have to worry about going back and forth from crypto to fiat. Crypto is an abbreviation or a shortened version of cryptocurrency. You don't have to go from cryptocurrency to fiat to be able to spend your money. If you kind of realize some kind of gain, let's say you buy some Bitcoins and a month from now it's worth, double that, a Swift card is actually awesome. Because instead of you having to say, okay, it's like PayPal. Okay, I want you to take my PayPal money and put it in my bank, right? And that takes maybe a couple of days. Instead of having to do any of that with Bitcoin, like, okay, I want you to take my Bitcoin and put US dollars in my account so I can spend it. You could just use your Swift card and spend off of the Bitcoin balance. You don't have to exchange anything. So I literally go around town and I spend Bitcoin, and nobody really knows that I'm spending Bitcoin. I don't have to ask them if they're accepting Bitcoin. I have money to spend.
Appreciate that. Now, when I downloaded the app, I think I told you this earlier, that's when I got a little bit more understanding, and I suggest the listeners to go ahead and download the COINBASE app, just to get a little bit familiar with it. And those of us that actually know about stock, the best way I can explain it is kind of like penny stocks. And penny stocks is basically stocks that's less than $1. Highly speculative. Look at my pronunciation. But it's very much like a job if you want it to be. Could you go into how somebody that can maybe invest, maybe if they have an extra $400 or $500, and ways that they can use it like the stock and basically turn that into a lifestyle, a way of income for themselves?
Yes, sir. I appreciate the question. I'm going to raise you one. I'm a gambling man. I'm a betting kind of man. So not only am I going to match you, but I'm going to raise you one. The 3 ways, the 3 levels. Yes, sir. The 3 tiers that I'd like to help the family utilize so that this can be a coherent thought is, on the bottom level, you have entrepreneur. First and foremost, I am advising our people to get into that mentality. The idea of being a worker is not going to work in the future. In fact, you might be put out of a job here very soon. If you get paid less than $20 an hour, I'm pretty sure that what it is that you do will become an automated process, an automated service. It's like the self-checkout in the grocery store. That will probably happen to you. So I highly recommend that the family start to get into entrepreneurship on a basic level. You don't need to be the biggest business in the world, but you do need to have some goods or some services that you can offer to the world, and make sure that you take pride in your work. Do a good job. The next level is investor. Investing is a very good thing. This is the idea of making money when you sleep. This is the idea of, putting the money to work. And this is a wonderful thing. I think more and more of our people need to comprehend this and get into it. The last thing that I want to bring to the consciousness of the family is what is referred to as a venture capitalist. This is very different than an investor in one sense, the returns. So as a basic investor, you deal with, a few percentage, anywhere, we'll say between 3 and, at best, a couple 100%. And I think that's really big. Let me give you an example. If you buy a home right now for $100,000, how long is it going to take for that home to be worth $200,000? How much money might you have to put into that home for a $100,000 home to now be worth $200,000? That's investor money. Okay, even if it went from 100 to 200,000, that's 100% return. Okay, venture capitalists, they don't deal with 100% return. That represents 1x. Venture capitalists deal with things like 10x, 20x, 30x. You write 1,000x. So when you get into Bitcoin, when you get into various cryptocurrencies, you're actually playing the role of a venture capitalist as opposed to an investor. Chances are, if you play it in the long run, you won't just get 10%, 20%, 30%, 50%, or even 100% return. Me, myself, it was definitely an awesome experience, but I have received 36 times the money that I've invested. That's not 100%. If I give you $10 and you give me back 20, that's 100% return. But if I give you $10 and you bring back 360, that's about a 36 times return. That's the nature of a venture capitalist as opposed to just a basic investor. So being involved in Bitcoin puts you into that venture capitalist realm, family. It's time to step our game up. It's time for an upgrade. Investing is great. Entrepreneurship is fundamental. But we do need to grow and mature into that of a venture capitalist.
Most definitely. I know, I think you said you said various other, I think you said online money, I'm not for sure. Would you say that like Bitcoin is number one? I think there's another one, ATL coin or altcoin. Are you familiar with that?
Yes, sir. ATL is an abbreviation for alternate.
Okay.
Alternative. Okay. Yes. And there are at least 500 cryptocurrencies out there. The number 2 right up under Bitcoin is called Ethereum. You and I spoke on this earlier. As opposed to it being a money system, a cash system, again, let me make sure that the family is clear. I said this on the first show. I'll reiterate. Bitcoin, the simplest way to understand it, is a peer-to-peer, electronic cash, system. So please digest those 3. Peer-to-peer, electronic cash, system. Ethereum, on the other hand, family, is not a peer-to-peer cash or electronic cash system. It is a peer-to-peer electronic smart contract system. So it's not about money. It's about contracts. It's about agreements. It's about self-executing. Number 3, if I'm not mistaken, is called Steemit. That's STEEMIT. Steemit. Steemit is a social network. It is a peer-to-peer, right? A social network, peer-to-peer, electronic social network. And what they do is that when you participate in this network, for every comment, every post, every like, all of these kind of activities that we would do on, we'll say, example, for Facebook, all those different activities, imagine being compensated for it. So as you can see, family, every coin is not a currency coin. Many of the coins are just fuel for the platform. And I'm sure you were around, Brother Sear, when we had this bill before. I think everybody's familiar with Peter Piper Pizza, Chuck E. Cheese, things of that nature. When you go inside of those places, they tend to have like an arcade section. But in the arcade section, you can't necessarily use your dollar bills. You can't use your quarters. You have to go in there. You have to buy their tokens, right? Dave and Buster's. You have to go in there. You have to buy their tokens, and then you can play in the arcade. Well, it works very much so similar to that scenario. It would behoove a person who is into building platforms to think about the cryptocurrency, right? To think about how they could implement this system in the infrastructure level. And you said something, brother, earlier, and I think now is a good time for me to bring it forward. So we can be talking about organizing our finance, right? We can talk about funding various projects. There are people out there talking about building cities, people out there talking about building military, people out there talking about even just basic stuff, right? They want to help out with the boys and girls in their local area. So now with the cryptocurrency, you can take crowdfunding to the next level, family. Right now, all that can happen, let's say you wanted to fund something that you're passionate about. You might have seen a brother on YouTube, and he's talking about how he wants to raise money for a very good cause, and you're with it. Well, right now, the most that you can do is actually just donate to the cause. There won't be much equity in it, other than maybe if you after they're all put together, maybe now you can, take part in some of the goods and services that they're offering, but you have no ownership. Let me make that absolutely clear. If you are participating in a crowdfund, you already know you don't have any ownership in the overall agenda, in the overall project. You know this. Well, with cryptocurrency, it's different. Cryptocurrency could be used to first and foremost raise the funds, and you give the cryptocurrency in exchange. Now, as the company continues to do well, your cryptocurrency value will increase. This is what's happening to Bitcoin. This is what is happening to Ethereum. This is what is happening to Steemit. This is not a unique thing. You said it's like a penny stock, and I'm in agreement. As the company does well, your penny stock starts to increase in value. So as Bitcoin continues to do well, its value continues to increase. And this is predicated on the businesses that are being built around it. Right? A lot of people are making a living this way at this point. So it is the exact same concept. It is important that our people understand, first and foremost, if you have an idea, say it's a business, if you have an idea, it would make sense that you offer a cryptocurrency in exchange, a token, like a stock. Offer that in exchange for the funds that the people are going to give you. Now they want for your business to succeed. In fact, this is what has happened. This is the most interesting phenomenon with Bitcoin. You have people like me who really only have the stake that I have in Bitcoin, but I'm out here promoting it. They're not paying me to promote Bitcoin. It serves me to promote Bitcoin. It doesn't serve anyone other than me for the most part. Obviously, anyone could benefit that's involved with it. But for me personally, because I have stake in Bitcoin, I do want it to do better. So they have people like myself, like yourself, who would actually propagate the information for mutual gain. You and I are mutually going to gain from this. On the flip side, if you were just into Oculus Rift, well, you're just a fanboy. Because you're not going to gain anything. You didn't get anything. If you were a person that got on Kickstarter and donated some money for the Oculus Rift, you didn't get a damn dime when Oculus Rift was sold to Facebook for $1.3 billion, right? 1.3 billion is something like that, very close to that, is how much Oculus Rift sold to Facebook. If you were a part of the crowdfunding that put the original money together to create that product, you already know the most you might have got is a couple of headsets, some t-shirts, and a thank you letter. What I am talking about is, as you said, a penny stock, some equity, some stake in the project. So I think that is our future. Not only do we have a system, a banking system, a financial system that exists outside the traditional, but we can actually fund various sorts of projects in our community outside of the system and continuously even create variations of currency in stocks, if you will, that have different values. So I think that is the future, and that's where we're going, brother.
Man, and it's like, for us to be talking about, with that, in the hip-hop world, it's all about money, 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 and, the famous quote that Jay-Z and Yo Gotti put out there, numbers don't lie. you would think that we would be watching these numbers, and this would be something that, you know, I think that it, like I say, and I hope we keep going with this series, because, you know, it's gonna take a while to beat this into people's heads. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna catch on with it. That this is something that man, you can just double up by not doing nothing. And then with that being said, like we said, penny stocks, I want to let the family know that out there listening that Bitcoin has dropped $19.69 since last week. I think it went further than that. I think it went down almost up to $25. So, you know, like the brother was just explaining, that, you know, it's like stock. So, you know, right now is the time to buy. If you got a little change to, you know, you can, you know, work with something to start it off with. Right now is the time to buy, and the objective is to buy when it's low. So when it does rise up and you can sell a little bit, you end up getting, you know, some income off of it. Also, brother, I want to ask you, could you explain halving? Is that how we pronounce it there? HALVENING.
Can you spell that one more time?
Halving, is that how you pronounce it? HALVENING?
Yeah, the halvening. That's how you pronounce it.
Okay, halving. Okay.
Yeah.
Could you explain that to the family?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The root word is to halve. So there's a unique concept that exists within this monetary system. Remember, that's one of the ways to best understand Bitcoin. It is a system. It's very similar, we'll say, to a Federal Reserve system. We're talking about the issuance of the money. So every 10 minutes, there are Bitcoins that are issued. They are issued to miners. This is what they receive as incentive for mining. As we said on the previous show, the miners are the people that are authenticating the transactions. Only reason we're getting into this, fam, is because there are skeptics among you. You don't know how it works. You want to understand if it actually works. Does it make sense? So if you'd like to understand, take heed. Mining is the process of authenticating the transactions. What they receive as an incentive for doing that are newly mined Bitcoins. Every 10 minutes, they're issued. What you're talking about, dear brother, is something that happened this month. In the middle of the month, there was a halving. This halving happens about every 4 years. It's almost like presidential election. Every 4 years, the amount of Bitcoins that are issued are cut in half. When this system started, 50 Bitcoins were issued every 10 minutes. Every 10 minutes. In 2012...
Hold on. 1 sec. Please remember where you at. I want to really let them understand when he said 50 Bitcoins were handed out every 10 minutes. Now, I don't remember, I don't know the price at that time period when they was doing, I think it was, what, about $12 maybe 14, 15 at that time. Right now, Bitcoin price is at $661.71. So I'm pretty sure a lot of us, the family out there, can use 50 of those. You know what I'm saying? Even though that's not going on right now. But I just wanted to put that out there so they have an idea of how much money that will be equivalent to right now today.
Absolutely. You know, it's actually about the equivalent of what Ethers are going for right now. Ethereum is the number 2 alternate coin, the contract coin. It's going for about $12, $13, $14 right now. So it definitely is reminiscent. Ethereum, I think, is a year old. It's not even that old. So definitely, family, start to look into it. So yeah, getting back to where I was. Between 2008, 2008-9 to 2012, there were 50 Bitcoins issued at a time. As of 2016, and it did half at 2012 to 25. As of 2016, it halved again to 12.5. You see? So it's going to keep halving until about 2140, when there will be no more Bitcoins issued, and we will have gotten to the 21 Bitcoins that will be in circulation. 21 million, 21 million Bitcoins is where it's capped at.
Do you want to, can you give the family like maybe a website or a place that they can go to find their local Bitcoin ATMs or Bitcoin machines in their local area?
No. What I will do, is I'll give them our website, and I'll tell them how they can find it. I don't like to have people rely on a particular source when there are so many available. So the first thing that I would recommend if the family wants to learn more about the Moabit Association, you can find us on Facebook by searching MBA. That's M as in Moab, B as in Bitcoin, A as in Association. MBA, Circle of Peers. These are all separate words. MBA is an acronym, so keep those three together. Circle of Peers. Search that on Facebook. You can begin to learn more and start to dive in. I would also highly recommend you check out our website, MB Association. M as in Moab, B as in Bitcoin, Association. ASSOCIATION.info. MBAssociation.info. If you want to find out where to locally get Bitcoin, I would highly recommend that you type in your city name in a Google search, type in your city name and put Bitcoin right beside it. You'll probably end up coming up with some kind of radar that's G-mapped connected, the Google map, and it will show you where all of the ATMs are, where all the vending machines are, where you can actually purchase Bitcoin in person through a machine. There is also localbitcoin.com. I would recommend you search there as well. This is where you'll find individuals who are willing to exchange fiat for Bitcoin. They're buying, they're selling, so you can begin to buy and sell in the exact same way.
Most definitely, man. I really appreciate that, brother, because I want to make sure I help you out with campaigning and getting this out there and getting the people aware to what's really going on and how they can also profit from this. And also another way for them to, save money and maybe have a third, what they can look at as a second or third bank account, or like you say, a Swiss bank, not a Swiss bank account, a Swiss bank in their pocket at all times. So we are definitely going to touch more bases on that. Is there any more websites, or you shot it out to Facebook and on your website, and I will put that at the bottom of the description of this show, so you guys can have that link to go straight there to the brother and talk to him or anyone else from the association. And you also can join the Facebook group so you can see these posts and stay right on top of everything that Bitcoin has to offer, or any recent news that comes about. This is your brother, Starr. This is the Kickback, where we talk about every issue under the sun: health, relationship, goals, prep and motivation, current events, lives, education, changing thought patterns, and changing conversations. I want to thank my guest today, D. Miller L., for coming through and giving us this information. It's constructive information for the people, and we will be bringing you back more. Peace out, family.